Odyssey.com rewind. If you missed the open, we have a 1 seed for the drop tournament. Stoney body bagging Jansen, demanding time to let me speak. Whew, 30 minutes. What a fabulous open. So yesterday I had some fun with these guys. I was having a conversation. It was with Jimmy Powers. He was blissfully unaware. We were talking college football upsets. And I'm like, yeah, one of the coolest ones was, I missed the 3:30 kickoffs. MSU beating OSU in 98. And OSU was number 1. MSU was a 30-point underdog. Nick Saban in his little turtleneck. And they beat him. And he's like, what? What game was that? I'm like, huh? So then you show him the highlights. And it's Brett Musburger screaming. Well, then I came in here. None of these guys had any concept this game ever took place. So I said, all right, now I feel like I'm Peter Falk in Columbo. And I may as well just lean into it. So I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take 1998 as the baseline. And I have got a list of the biggest upsets in college football history that have taken place in the last 25 years. I will not give you anything that predates 1998.
Okay.
So like Michigan losing to Illinois in 1924 will not be on this list. I sorted that stuff out. Are we ready?
Sure.
And then you can tell me if you knew about this, do you value it? Why are we doing it? Because college football is a couple days away. And I really don't want to do what's your favorite lawnmower. So let's just talk ball, shall we?
Let's do it.
David. All right, kids. Oh, Jesus. You sure you don't want the ones from the 40s? All right, let me take you back to a magical afternoon in 2009 involving anytime this team loses, it's a great day. Notre Dame losing to Navy for the second time in 3 years. Why is it relevant in 2009? Because it ended the coaching career of what Notre Dame coach? And it triggered a 4-game losing streak to finish the 2009 season.
Willingham?
Try a little larger.
Charlie Weiss.
Correct. Charlie Weiss, he of the I present a distinct schematic advantage every week I'm on the sidelines. Yeah, sure. But twice in 3 years, they lost to Navy and cost coaches jobs. Let's go to 2006. USC, UCLA. USC ranked number 2 in America, Jim. They're ready to go back to the BCS national title game. Remember the BCS national title game?
Oh, baby.
For the 3rd straight year, all that stood in the way. UCLA can't be that dangerous. One problem. UCLA dominates the game. And you ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
A John David Booty pass was intercepted by Eric McNeil to seal their fate with a minute to go. USC would miss out on playing OSU in what was a dream matchup for everybody, and instead would smoke Michigan's ass in the Rose Bowl. All right, let's keep moving. Well, I mean, they did.
Yeah.
That was the Dwayne Jarrett game, was it not?
Sounds right. He would have been there at the time.
I get confused because USC always beats Michigan in the Rose Bowl. All right, let's go to 2001. 2001. Do you remember when Florida and Tennessee was a big deal?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Steve Spurrier saying you can't spell citrus without UT? Ouch. The game was scheduled to play in September, but was pushed back because of September 11th. As a result, it preceded the Tennessee LSU SEC title game. The game ultimately decided the SEC East. Both teams were 9-1. Both teams ranked in the top 6. Florida was an 18-point favorite in this game. In the swamp. One problem. Travis Stevens ran for 226 on 19 carries, and the Vols won in the swamp for the first time in 30 years.
I feel like they haven't won there very often since.
And moving along. But ask Kenny. Georgia went 40. And Georgia had good teams. The Garrison Hurst years, the No Sean Moreno years. There were good teams.
Can I ask you if one game made this list?
Sure.
Did the ULM Alabama game?
Yes.
In like 2007?
Yes.
Is that Saban's first year?
First year, yeah.
Yep. They lost to Louisiana Monroe like 14-7 or so. Yes, it's on the list.
Was it early in the season, too, if I remember right?
Oh, that was the SEC title game, if I remember correctly.
Louisiana Monroe is not in the
Oh,
SEC.
I'm sorry, not the SEC. It was earlier. It was right before the SEC title
Oh, it's
game.
one of their supposed baked-in wins late in the year. Someone should have told them that.
Let's go back to 03. Was 03 a good year for you and Kenny?
Yeah.
David, you had your first kid in 03.
No, I did not.
Okay. Remember the Big 12 championship game brought to you by Dr. Pepper? Kansas State beating Oklahoma. Now, this was Stoops' prime Oklahoma.
Yeah, they were rolling off some national title buzz.
Oklahoma was your preseason number one. They didn't lose all year. No one told K-State that. They entered the game as 17-point favorites in a championship game. It was like the Big Ten East versus West. K-State does the business, score 21 in the second quarter, outscore Oklahoma 14 bagel in the second half. KSU goes to the Fiesta Bowl, loses to OSU. OU advances to the national title game despite the loss. Do you know who they lost to?
Florida State?
No. His
LSU.
name, Nick Saban's
Yes.
LSU team, 21-14.
Yep.
How do you lose your championship game but still go play for national
The
title?
BCS, baby, the computers.
BCS. You know what's bad? I'm at the point now with how stupid the playoff and the conferences are. I kind of miss it. All right, we're skipping over a bunch of games that don't matter in our lifetime. Let's go to 08. Anything good happen in 08 for you?
Was that the crazy season? Or was that 07?
07 was the chaos season.
Okay, 08, good season.
08. USC, still technically a dynasty-ish.
Kind of on the heels.
One problem. They lost to my team as 28.5-point favorites. Oregon State entered as an unranked 1-2 team. They lost to Penn State and Stanford. Here's a blast for NFL fans. Jaquiz
I was
Rogers.
just going to ask. And his brother, too, right?
Yep. 5'5" running back Jaquiz Rogers runs for 186 and 2 touchdowns. The Beavers are up 21-0 in the first half. The upset. See, I miss this stuff.
I know.
We're losing all of this. I hold on. Let me speed this up a little. How about the 07 Fiesta Bowl?
Boise State.
Got it. Good
Right
man.
away. I mean, something you just know.
That was
Statue of Liberty, the proposal
Yes.
after the game, Ian Johnson.
And what it did was Oklahoma entered as 10-point favorites.
Is that Jared Zabransky at quarterback?
Yes. And it was where, finally, a non-power team got a shot in a big bowl game, and Boise State got it done. And again, we'll never see that again. That's gone.
God, this is depressing.
Well, the music's depressing. I feel old. Can I? All right. Can I do a 1998? All right, but this one,
Go ahead.
This was big. Florida State ranked number 2, hosting an absolute flaming dumpster of a team in NC State. FSU had lost one conference game in 6 years.
That was the height of the Bowden era.
They were 47-1 their last 48 ACC games. NC State enters, I believe, Chuck Amato with his Einstein haircut and white Oakleys. You got to go look up Chuck Amato. 28-point dogs, and they destroy Florida State 24-7 with a wide receiver that announced himself that day. Hall of Famer, greatest show on turf alumni, Torrey Holt. Do you know who else was on those teams at NC State?
No.
Phillip Rivers.
I
with
knew he went
no
to NC State.
kids.
I just didn't know if
that
that
was
was
Phillip Rivers with
pre-kids?
no kids. Now he's got 10.
11, I think. No,
Yes,
it's 10.
Kenny.
It's 10.
Well, I was going to ask you about the Utah-Alabama Sugar Bowl in 2000.
You just love Alabama losing. That's what this
Kenny's
is
got
over
it.
here.
No, but Kenny's got it.
I
I'm
do.
in.
You are right.
Is that Urban Meyer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's Alex Smith.
And you just hate. I
Hate
think they
to
went
see
down
it.
like 20-something to
No,
nothing.
it's not Alex Smith. Let me take that back. So this was Bama comes out, takes them for granted. They're down 21-0.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Despite being undefeated, Utah entered 10.5-point dogs. They dismantle the Crimson Tide, finish the season ranked number 2 in the nation.
Quarterback Brian Johnson.
Yes. Yes. All right. Kenny, any more Alabama losses you'd like to cover? How about this one?
I'll get back to you on that.
That one time where Bama lost, it was great.
Let me give you a Florida loss. And it triggered what I thought was one of the most phony, obnoxious speeches in history. I want to take you back to 2008. Do you remember the game? In the swamp.
The Tebow speech afterwards.
And there will never be anyone who will compete.
We're harder than this team.
God bless you. I got to go to church.
Now,
goodbye.
It was against one of
Ole
the
Miss.
Mississippi schools, Ole Miss. Yep.
Boom!
We've got a bearded Feinbaum in our midst, people. Yes, 2008.
Don't ever talk to me about Florida losing.
And
I
then-
love it.
And then what did they do? They put a statue up of Tebow.
Well, he did win 2 national titles.
Of course he knows who Florida got upset by in Alabama. Of course.
David,
to
I
Kenny's
know.
credit, Georgia's not on this list. There's not a Georgia game on this list.
Well, that's odd. I assume there's probably a Michigan game somewhere near the top of that list, right?
Well,
Let's go live to the BTN.
all right. Hold on. I'm out of time. I do have I have a couple, but we can't do it.
Can't do it.
Pittsburgh, West Virginia in 07. The
McAfee.
Oh, yes.
Backyard brawl. What was Matt Gonzalez, the quarterback at Pitt?
Rich Rod shot to play for a national title before he came to Michigan.
Yep. Temple beating VTech in 98. Temple had been kicked out of the Big East.
Yep.
A couple in the 70s. BC beating Notre Dame in 93 was a huge deal. You should go look that one up. Carnegie Tech beating Notre Dame in 26. Syracuse, Louisville in 07. Remember, Louisville was like number 2 in America.
Is that Brom?
Yes. Ohio State, Michigan in 69. Nobody cares. App State, 07, Michigan, and number 1 all time. Here's a hint. He's suspended 3 games. The biggest upset in history. Jim Harbaugh's Stanford Cardinal, as 41-point underdogs, upset USC. DeVita Pritchard, 17 fourth-quarter points to beat mighty USC in the midst of their dynasty.
Was that the what's your deal game?
Yes. And away we go. Little did we know. I know. College football, we love it. 97.